Morning, beloveds. Okay. I'm constantly fussing with my camera angle. Okay. It is July 20th. It's hot. And our title, okay, so it is July 20th. Our title is I Forgive. And our Bible quote, okay, they're both from Isaiah, but one is 44:22 and the other one is 65:17. So, I have blotted out as a thick cloud thy transgressions. For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. Whatever the mistakes of yesterday may have been, today is a new creation. Turning from the errors of the past and no longer carrying with us the sorrows and mistakes of yesterday, today we may enter into a new experience. But it is only when we forgive everyone that we may feel certain that the weight of condemnation is lifted from our own consciousness. We should refuse to carry the negations of yesterday into the positive atmosphere of today. For today, the world is made new in our experience. When we criticize another person, we are apt to become involved in his psychological reactions. This does not help the person we censure, but draws us into the confusion which we are observing. We must recognize that each person is a law unto himself within the cosmic law. Each person has the right to his own ideas and beliefs. We cannot understand a person's actions until we know the beliefs which are motivating him. Only from the inner self can motives be explained. Today, I loose all condemnations. I judge not, and I am judged only by the law of good. There is no animosity, no criticism, no hatred. I shall behold the face of love, of beauty, and of peace in everyone I meet. I know that every right motive has the blessing of spirit, and that there is nothing that opposes this blessing or denies divine givingness. Okay, so I have two initial thoughts. One, forgiveness is mostly about you. When you forgive another person, you don't ever have to tell the other person that you have forgiven them. That is an act for you to let go of all of the negative stuff around the act that you are forgiving. You do not ever actually have to forgive that person in person. You do not have to ever communicate with that person again. I know in the 12-step program, the step where they make amends, the step says to make amends in person unless that would cause more harm to the person that you are seeking seeking amends from. So it's the same thing with forgiveness. You can forgive a person and never have contact with them again. Now, the situation is different if you have regular contact with them, and so every situation is different. But the act of forgiveness is mostly about you. When you forgive yourself and when you forgive another person, there's a line that I've seen a couple of times and I forget who it is attributed to, but it's about healing yourself to the point of accepting an apology that you're never going to get. We all have experiences, and there are times that we are never going to get apologies from. There are also times that we are going to get apologies that are not going to look like apologies, but they are apologies. And we have to be able to recognize and accept them for what they are. And we are going to do the same thing. There are going to be times that we are going to struggle to apologize to someone else. There are going to be times that we are going to give apologies that don't look like apologies, and because that's where we are. So forgiveness really is more about you than it is the other person. It is a gift that you give yourself. And then the other thing that he said in here was, he said, we recognize that each person is a law unto himself within the cosmic law. Each person has the right to his or her own beliefs. We cannot understand a person's actions until we know the beliefs that are motivating him. We don't know what's going on in other people's heads. Frequently, we don't know what's going on in their lives. We have brief interactions with them. This is how much we know about their lives. We don't know what is motivating them, causing them to do what they're doing. And 90% of the time, probably 99% of the time, people do things where they are either seeking their good or seeking love. And yes, they may be going about it in all of the wrong ways, but what they're looking for, and so it does not mean that we have to continue to put ourselves in their presence, but we can give them a pass through our head. We can forgive them. We can hold them in that space of they are a beloved child of God. They will find what they are looking for. It doesn't have to be from us, but we can let them move on. We can let them move on, and we can let them move on with no animosity from us. What we can do is hold them in that space of that they're a child of God and that they know who they are. Because it's a whole lot. Hate's too great of a burden to bear. Hate is too great of a burden to bear. Martin Luther King did say that. Hate is too great of a burden to bear. I will choose love because. And that's what forgiveness is about. Forgiveness is about not carrying around all that stuff. So, we can put all of the wonderful spiritual stuff around it and tell you what a good person you are when you can forgive. But really, honestly, it's too hard to carry that around. You shouldn't have to carry that around. And if you are willing to give yourself the gift of forgiveness, then you can put all that stuff down and not carry it around. And I have said this before, just because you have forgiven does not mean you have to let them back in your life. All right? I'm not going to go all, I want to use a word, with lovey-dovey spiritual what have you, and say, oh, forgive them, let them back in your life. Nope. You forgive them. You let go of all the stuff you've been carrying around and you move on with your life. Forgiveness does not mean that you let them back in. Okay? That is a spiritual truth, and spiritual truths are not always gentle. They're not. So, forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is for you. It's so you don't have to carry around the ickiness anymore. That's what it's about. All right. So, July 20th, I forgive. I have blotted out as a thick cloud thy transgressions. That would be Isaiah 44:22. They say forgive and forget because you want to let the ickiness go. You do not want to carry the ickiness around anymore. For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. And that is Isaiah 65:17. Every day is a new day. And if you can forgive and just let all of that ickiness go, then it is a new day. And you are a new you can have a new experience. You can have a new experience. Whatever the mistakes of yesterday may have been, today is a new creation. Turning away from the errors of the past and no longer carrying with us the sorrows and mistakes of yesterday. Okay, so we're not carrying the sorrows and the mistakes. We're not carrying the ickiness. It does not mean that we are not taking the lessons that we learned. We're just letting go of the ickiness. We're letting go of the sorrow. We're letting go of the just the general blah that comes with making mistakes. We're letting all of that go. Today we may enter into a new experience. But it is only when we forgive everyone that we may feel certain that the weight of condemnation is lifted from our own consciousness. Okay, I'll be straight up honest with you. That is a line worth taking into meditation and prayer. Because I'm not entirely on a comfort level with that. It's like I would like to work on that line. But it is only when we forgive everyone that we may feel certain that the weight of condemnation is lifted from our own consciousness. It might have a little bit to do with, let me remove the beam from my eye before I remove the speck from my neighbor's. Because frequently what we judge in others is what we don't like about ourselves. So if we let go of the judging of others, then we can let go of the judging of ourselves. And sometimes it's easier. It's easier to start with the other and then work on ourselves. And that may be the same with forgiveness. If we start forgiving other people, then we can work on forgiving ourselves. It's just an idea. I think, for me personally, I need more work on that line. We should refuse to carry the negations of yesterday into the positive atmosphere of today. For today, the world is made new in our experience. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about leaving the ickiness behind. That is the gift that forgiveness gives us. It leaves the ickiness behind. We have learned the lesson. Now we can leave the blah behind and move forward. It is for us. Forgiveness is about us, for us. It's nice when it includes other people, but it doesn't have to. It does not have to. When we criticize another person, we are apt to become involved in his psychological reactions. When we criticize another person, we are apt to become involved in their psychological reactions. When I come to you and say, I don't like this that you are doing, then I'm involving myself in your process and I need you to change for me to be okay. See what I mean? That's what we're talking about. I need you to change for me to be okay. The world doesn't work like that, but that's how we feel. This does not help the other person we censure, but draws us into the confusion that we are observing. Okay? So, I have observed this behavior. I don't like this behavior. I tell you that I don't like this behavior. So now, I need you to fix this behavior for me to be okay. That's two people, and neither of us are getting what we need out of this situation. We must recognize that each person is law unto themselves within the cosmic law. Okay? And I say this. I frequently will say Lisa is law unto herself. I am a law unto myself. I'm going to do what I am going to do. If you get bent out of shape about what I'm doing, that's your problem, not mine. Each person has the right to their own ideas and beliefs. We cannot understand a person's actions until we know the beliefs that are motivating them. And can we ever truly know what motivates another person? Unless we are willing to have those deep conversations? No. Because what we really know about other people, we scratch the surface. I mean, even people that we love and have intimate relationships with, we don't always know what their motivations are. And so we do things and we hurt each other, and then we stop and we have those conversations, and then we go, oh, but the only person who can fix it is the person. You know, we can't fix other people. We can only fix ourselves. And then know the other person for the child of God that they are. Only from the inner self can motives be explained. Today I loose all condemnation. I judge not and am judged only by the law of good. There is no animosity, no criticism, no hatred. That's a statement. There's no animosity, no criticism, no hatred. I shall behold the face of love, of beauty, and of peace in everyone I meet. Everyone I meet, I'm going to look at them and see them for the child of God that they are. That's the goal. I know that every right motive has the blessing of spirit, and that there is nothing that opposes this blessing or denies divine givingness. There is nothing that opposes this blessing. Okay. Wait, hang on. I know that every right motive. The right motive benefits and harms none. It benefits as many people as possible and harms none. That's how we know it's a right motive. That's how we know it's a righteous action. And forgiveness work, it's hard. But if you can start with the premise that the forgiveness is about you, it is about you laying the burdens down of the actions that have happened. It's about you being willing to accept an apology that you'll never get. It's about you doing your own work and moving forward and taking the lessons but leaving the sorrows behind. And if you can do that, it frees you up. It frees you up because the burden of hate is too great to bear. So, I don't even know. Our mission today, is, should we choose to accept it, is to lift the weight of condemnation from ourselves and others, to forgive ourselves and others, to let it go, to recognize that each person is that law unto themselves. And no, that's it. It's hot and messy. And forgiveness work is not my area. It's not. Okay, let's do this. Our mission, should we choose to accept it today, is to live anew. To live anew. To let it all go. To forgive ourselves, to forgive others, to set the burden down, and to move forward. Because the weight of judgment that we carry is our own weight. And so if we can set that down, moving through this world will be much easier. I think that. Ooh, yep. I think that I may have found an area where I want to do a little bit more work, to do a little more exploring on forgiveness work. Yeah, so I'll be looking for a good book. But as always, I'm going to encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. And honestly, forgiveness work is that. it is loving, it is kind, it is compassionate, because it is about you setting the burden down. Be it forgiveness that you, if you need to forgive another person, or if you need to forgive yourself, or if you need to ask someone for forgiveness. As long as I said, from the 12-step program, it doesn't create more of a burden for them. Because it is about setting the burden down. It is about setting aside judgment. It is about, really honestly, not caring what other people think. I will never go out of my way to harm another person. I will, in fact, go out of my way not to hurt people. I will try to be the best benefit to other people that I can. But in the long run, I don't care what people think. The burden of other people's beliefs is too heavy for me to carry. It is. I don't care what you think. You see what I mean? So set it down. It is really one of the most loving, kind, compassionate things that you can do for yourself. But it's up to you as to what you want that act to be. I do encourage you to engage your mind and your body. We have weather coming. I don't know if you're going to get the face full of sun. I got some sun this morning because we did go for that run. But please do drink plenty of water. It is very warm out there, and it's hot and sticky, and yeah, I know where I live. So take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. You are a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. So as you move through the day, please open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven now. It's all around you. It just takes you being willing to open your eyes and find the beauty. All right, beloveds, I am going to move into the process of my day. It is Tuesday. I have no idea that there's anything going on. I do know that there's a really cool soul session going tomorrow. We have 4 military members. Ironically, it's 3 Navy and 1 Army guy from our center who are going to have a conversation with Jesse on Facebook Live tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central. So please join us for that and catch it on the YouTube channel later. And Reverend David should be on Facebook Live around 5. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. Do what you need to do to make it a good day. A wonderful day, a fantastic day, an amazing day. Or if that's too much, simply have a day. But know that you are loved. Know that you are loved. And feel free to catch me on the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel anytime. That's where all this stuff is. And this Creative Life Spiritual Center Facebook page. And that's where the soul session will be. Maybe even to, after we get off the soul session tomorrow night. It downloads and uploads pretty quick. So we'll see. All right, beloveds. Have a wonderful day.